All right, today, again, you're not going to work on your cardboard sculptures, so we're going to try to do something a little just different, just some sculpture ideas in general we're going to try. So go to Google and search amazing sculptures, interesting sculptures, unbelievable sculptures, anything of that nature to bring up awesome sculptures, just anything to bring up random, incredibly created sculptures. So here's some things you'll see with amazing sculptures if you search. So it could be the size is amazing with the detail, or just the technique, or the most random effect created. It could be the spikes. Okay, it could be anything about it. It could be unbelievable, where you talk about the technique is amazing. Okay, because remember, all Hollywood things like this, for example, are created in sculpture form first. Use like the technique. The size is impressive again, so interesting sculptures again. You maybe like the shape, what it's made out of. Anything about it you find interesting or unbelievable. I want you to choose one sculpture, save it to a Word document. Okay, save a picture of it. Once you save a picture of it to a Word document, then you're going to go and answer some questions about it. So go to the website. First question is, so these are some things you can search: unique sculptures, amazing, unbelievable, or impressive sculptures, like I just said. And then you need to do these questions. If I were you, I probably would pause the video right now so you could look at all these questions right here. If not, you can just write them down, whatever you want to do. The first question you need to answer is what website the sculpture was found at. So type in the web address right here. Next, copy and paste. See if you can find the creator. That's if it's available. If you can't find the creator, no big deal. Next, what is the sculpture made out of? So your best estimation. You're probably not going to find this information, written out, but if you can guess what it is, go with it. What is the estimated size? 2 foot tall, 5 foot tall, 30 feet tall, whatever it may be. Estimate how long you think it took the sculptor to create it. And then we're going to do some detailed questions about the design or why you think it's impressive. So go to, what is the most impressive aspect about the sculpture? Was it the design, the shape, just the detail that was used to create it, the craftsmanship? Maybe it was made out of a random material and that's what made it so impressive, like cardboard, for example. Or anything like that. And be specific with this answer. The last question you need to answer: if you were to recreate the sculpture out of a different material, would the sculpture be as interesting? So it's yes or no question, and kind of describe why if it were no. It's made out of feathers and that's why it's interesting, and if it were made out of concrete, it wouldn't be interesting, whatever that may be. So answer these questions. Once you're done, you can go ahead and save this document to your U drive. Go ahead and print it out and then give it to the sub, and then they'll collect them for me. Otherwise, you then can work on your saving images from yesterday of non-representational sculptures. So if you haven't saved 20 of those in a Word document, go ahead and save 20 of those, and then you're done. All right, so it could be any sculpture. Spend some time searching sculptures. Don't find the first one and go, okay, that's what I'm doing. First one found. Spend 5 minutes, look through these sculptures. There's a lot of crazy things online. You got everything from made of an elephant made of TVs to Michael Jackson made out of wire. Okay, you have cardboard, you have book sculptures, sand sculptures. Spend some time looking for these crazy sculptures. Anything three-dimensional could be a sculpture. All right, this is a tutorial for Digital Photography 2. I'm going to show you how to make a bleach bypass effect. Because it's Friday, I'm not going to have you guys do a ton of things. I'm just going to have you do 3 of these techniques on any portraits or any image, for that matter, that you'd like. And that's all I have you do today. If you need to go back and work on those retro effects from yesterday to create 5 different retro portraits, you can go ahead and do that. The tutorial should be saved on that website for you. Otherwise, you need to go ahead and finish your multiplicity. You will turn those in on Friday. So back to bleach bypass. Bleached bypass is an effect where you take a photograph and you give it muted colors. So you turn down the colors and you exaggerate the contrast and you exaggerate the super detailed characteristics of the face. It's really popular right now in like high fashion magazines or a lot of TV shows. But it's just a different effect for manipulating or adjusting the colors of an image. So you take your image, got this portrait offline. First thing I do is crop it, get a very dynamic, contemporary crop. So I'm going to go ahead and chop the top of her head off, shrink it up to here. I'm going to shrink it somewhere in here. And I'm going to just go ahead and slide that whole image over. Something like this. Using the rule of thirds, get her off the center. Okay, so I have a real dynamic crop. All right. Next, after you do the crop, you got to boost the contrast. So you're going to go down to the adjustment layer, down here the gray, the black and white circle, and go to levels. Okay, you're then going to adjust the blacks, the darks, the shadows of your picture, and the highlights of your picture. So I'm going to increase the highlights a little bit, and I'm going to decrease the shadows a little bit. Okay, you don't want to go too black because obviously too black is going to be way too much, but you want to increase the shadows definitely, a little bit exaggeration. Same thing with the highlights. You want them almost white. Okay, and that's boosting the contrast. Next, you want to remove the color. So go down to the adjustment layer window or options, and then go to hue saturation this time. And you're going to take the saturation and turn it all the way to -100, so it makes a black and white image. All right, next, adjust the blending mode of that layer to soft light. So you adjust the soft light. Then next, you need to basically increase the color again or remove even more color. So you make another, go down to adjustment layers, go to hue saturation again, turn it to 0 or -100, sorry. So it's all black and white. But in this time, instead of adjusting the blending mode, you're going to adjust the opacity. And you can turn it down to begin to see those colors appear again, but not so much. So in this case, you're gonna go back and forth. You know, too little, it's still really black and white. And too much, you're going back to what you did before. So I'm guessing for this picture, somewhere in the 27% range. Every picture is going to be different. All right, so after you tweak the color a little bit more, you need to enhance the detail of the shadows and the highlights. So you're going to select all, so you get marching ants over the entire screen. Go to edit, copy merged. This will copy every layer. What you see is what you'll copy. And then when you edit paste, it will paste a new layer, which is literally the same exact thing. As you can see, it's the exact same thing. Now you go to the burn and the dodge tool. So the dodge tool and the burn tool. You're going to manually use these tools. They're like brushes. You're going to lighten slightly and darken slightly. So the dodge tool will lighten. So I go to dodge, I zoom in. 50% is a good starting ratio, and I'm just going to click slowly. And everywhere I click, it's going to slowly make those areas whiter and lighter. Don't go too much. You just want to increase it. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my dodge tool. I'm sorry, that was dodge. Now I'll go to my burn tool. And again, it's at 50%. I'm going to adjust my brush size a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to slowly click on the areas that already have shadows and increase, especially in the forehead here. I'm going to increase the amount of shadows. So making it more dynamic. Around the eyes a little bit. Create a little bit more emphasis there just by making it a little darker, a little more contrast. A little shadow here, maybe a little bit more over here. Okay, maybe a little too much there on the cheek. Now it begins to make it look like a burner. So that's a high contrast image for bleach bypass. Okay, so that's that image, and here is the original. So you can see a huge difference. Exaggerated contrast, muted color, exaggerated details. Okay, that's bleach bypass. Create 3 different portraits or any image for that matter using the bleach bypass effect. Once you complete that, like I said, finish the retro photos from yesterday, 5 different ones. Once you have that done, finish multiplicity. If that's done, you have a free rest of the day Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day Friday. I'll be back Monday and we'll continue to edit your Harris Shutter pictures. Good reminder, Harris Shutter pictures are due Monday. 3 sets of Harris Shutter pictures, at least 3 pictures per set. Okay, try some where you're moving a ton around and moving very little. Search Google. If you have any questions, email me, kstocker@wths.net, and it'll explain everything you need. All right, thanks. Bye.